So hi all, welcome to today's session on data science with generative AI. Okay, let us start our session. So if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask the questions. Because if you're typing something, I can't see it because my entire screen is covered with this PPT. So let us start with data science with generative AI. So let us first set the agenda of this particular session. As it's a demo, we will start with the introduction of what is generative AI, etc. Then we will see the importance of data science and Gen AI. We will see the data science life cycle, and then we see how you can integrate data science and generative AI together, challenges and the considerations, then obviously the opportunities we have in this particular domain, and then we conclusion, and at the end, we might have a couple of bonuses if you stay till end. So let us start with introduction of data science. So what is a data science? So it's a data-driven approach where you use the data to extract some information out of it using the couple of mathematical techniques such as statistics, probability, and some machine learning to predict something. So in nutshell, I can say, suppose you have a data. Suppose you have a data and the data column is, you have some values 48, 98, 22, 23, etc. And this is the age column. So being a data scientist, what you do from this particular data, you try to extract the information. So with this data, what information you can extract? You can at least make an inference, or you can understand that after 4 people, 2 people is, you can say, are young people, one person is a middle aged, and one person is very old. But you can find out this information, but what is the use of this information? Now we understand, if you are working with a e-commerce company, we understand that our main target is the young people, yes or no? And after that, there might be a middle-aged man, and the old people is not our main target, because old people have not that much aspiration of, you know, uh, buying a new technology or dressing well, getting groomed well. So those requirement does not have. But for young people, yes, it is very important for them to look good. Okay, buy high-tech technology or whatever new gadget comes into market, they would like to buy it. So with this small 4 data points, I could able to understand something about this data. So similar kind of insights you can generate in data science. And this is just one of the small examples. I did not use any statistics approach. I used the statistics, but very basics, where I grouped the information and understood the different age groups we have. Then you use the machine learning in a data science to do the prediction, machine learning AI, to do some predictions. And couple of examples where use this data science, the area is predictive analysis, analytics, fraud detection, and customer segmentation. So this is about a data science. So let us see now what is a Gen AI. We understood what is data science. What is a Gen AI? So it says Gen AI is a subset of AI that creates a new content like text, images, and code. I believe most of us, some other day, we have used ChatGPT, Gork, or some are LLM models, or some model, the generative AI model, which creates some images, etc. Or at least we would have seen those kind of output in the social media. Nowadays, you see the Ghibli art gets very famous, right? Where you pass your image and it generates the Ghibli image of that. That is Gen AI. And the examples, the popular example of this Gen AI is the ChatGPT, which came in 2022 around. And from there onwards, these kind of models got a lot of popularity. And now you have a number of things or different, such as the Gemini of Google, the Gork of And this got we understand it is backed by the Elon Musk, the Gemini, and the Chat GPTs from OpenAI. Then you have a stable diffusion used for generate the images, etc. So that is a generative AI. Now the question is, we are talking about the course where you're combining both data science and generative AI. So now let's see how it can integrate, how we can integrate both, and it helps us in our work being a data scientist. So it enhances the decision making with better data insights. So how this generative AI helps us to enhance decision making with better data insights. Okay. Now suppose you have a data, the same data we have taken earlier, 48, 98, 22, 23. So here you have only 4 data points. And suppose with this age, you have certain other information also. But with these 4 data points, it's very difficult to generalize and understand a behavior of certain age group. You need more data points. 4 data points are very less. So you need at least X number of data points to at least start with your model, building your model. So for that case, now you don't have a data, but if your data is not available, from where you can get it? Generative AI, the Gen AI, can help you to generate that data artificially, or specifically we say such kind of data as synthetic data, because you're synthesizing the data based on the data you have. So using this data, you're generating a new data. And now when you have good amount of data with you, you can do your model. You can create your models, and which is enhanced decision making, because now if you have more data, it means you can predict something with more accuracy compared to the previous version where you have a less data. And second, it says automate repetitive process. So suppose now you have one of the activities in a data science is the pre-processing. So in pre-processing or a data cleaning, sorry, not pre-processing, my bad. So we have something called data cleaning. Pre-processing also we have one of the steps, but let me talk about data cleaning. So in the data cleaning, when you get a data, it's not that the data is 100% correct. There might be null values, there might be wrong data in your data set, and a couple of other problems. So to fix these particular problems, you have to do something, such as you fill the or impute the data of null values with mean, median, mode, or a couple of other techniques. You have to do it manually, but generative AI helps you to do it automatically. Suppose to tackle this particular activity, you are spending say 1 hour, because you have to write the code. First you have to check the data, then write the code, and then execute it. And then you have to see whether it has any bugs or not, means any errors or not. Now using this generative AI, you can automate this process. The time it used to consume was 1 hour, but using this generative AI, by automating these things, it might be done in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So here you're saving approximately 50 minutes. And suppose you're in an organization where you have a group of data scientists, okay, a team of 4, and everyone takes 1 hour, approximately on an average 1 hour, but you can able to deliver the same task within 5 to 10 minutes. So when you're delivering something in 5 to 10 minutes, which other people take approximately 1 hour, wouldn't it be that you get a more recognition than the other people? Yes or no? The answer is yes, because you are able to deliver something in less amount of time. So that's what automatic repetitive process. It helps you to deliver your things faster. The next thing which says address challenges like missing data or report and generation. That's what we covered here. So these are the reasons, and these are not the exhaustive list. If we go deep dive, we understand there are a couple of other things in which the generative AI can be used in data science activities or tasks, which will enhance our overall performance. So now let us see the data science life cycle. And this life cycle is very important to know and understand. This is the data science life cycle. The first one is the problem definition, or you can say it as a business understanding also, BU. In any of the data science project or the machine learning project or a GenAI project, the problem definition or business understanding is very important. Let me tell you why. So now, suppose you have a client who walked up to you and said that I have a couple of servers. Say I have 100 servers. Out of 100 servers, generally I get one P1 ticket, priority one ticket. It means P1 means priority one tickets are those kind of incidents or tickets uh, which needs to be addressed immediately. If you don't address it, fix the issues, then you will lose business. Okay, so that kind of incidents are called P1 tickets. So he's saying out of 100 servers, there are, I get on an average one P1 ticket per server in a month. And now he's saying out of these 100 servers, I have a 10 servers where I'm getting 10 P1 tickets per month. So this is a problem he has. Now he asks you to build a model which predicts such kind of P1s beforehand. Instead of being a reactive, I want a proactive model which helps me or which tells me that is going, you might get a P1 and then I will take the necessary action to fix it. Okay, that's what the client said. Well and good. And this is your problem. But now tell me, whatever information your customer has given, is it good enough to start ahead with your data science project? If I'm saying I'm getting 10 P1 tickets, the question we should ask, what could be the possible reason you think? Okay, he might say the possible reason because of that he's getting a P1 tickets more often for a couple of servers is, say it is have an issue with resources. Because when you have P1 incidents, you have an entire root cause analysis report. So based on that thing, I am getting the P1 tickets because of the resource issues. Now you say resource, the resources can be your RAM or your hard disk, right, on which you're storing the data. So you further break it down and go deeper to understand what exactly the problem is. Now you understand it's about the RAM. Then when you dig down, you understand it's a RAM because of which you're getting this P1 or P2 tickets. Now, when you understood the business problem correctly, the root cause of the issue, in the next step, the data collection, you exactly know what kind of data you require to build your model. Yes or no? If I simply go ahead with this thing, so the 10 servers might have a lot of information. It might have information regarding the RAM, that at what time, what is the RAM, how many, the operation it is performing, what are the different type of applications it is consuming, etc. You have the hard disk information also. Then you might have the network related information also, and you have many more information. Suppose you have information about your database, etc. So these all are the logs you might have for a particular server. If you don't narrow it down and understand the problem very well, you might have to take all this data, right? And it is not the correct one. Why? Because we understand after finding the root cause that it's because of the RAM. So now I will be taking only the RAM related logs and consider only that data to analyze further and create a model. So I think now we clearly understand the problem statement is very important. Unless you don't understand the problem statement or the business understanding is not correct, you are not narrow down the problem And when you're not doing that, your data collection will go wrong. Now you have, based on the business understanding, you have narrowed down the sources you need for the data. Now you collect your data. And when you collect the data, you start with data cleaning or pre-processing. And we understand whenever we get a data, the data is not 100% clean, right? So I think this particular part, some of you who have a technical background and worked with a reporting card, you people can understand that when you get a data, sometimes it happens the data gets corrupted, some particular data points are not within the range, etc. But for other people who does not have a technical background or a freshers, so when you get a data, you can think this thing, something in this, I will give you a small example so even other people can understand. Now suppose you are doing a lot of bank transactions, if you or your parents, and sometimes we do see some discrepancies, right, in our bank statement. Discrepancies means some additional charges are relieved or some data is not correct, etc. It happens very less, but it does happen. Might be 0.001% probability, but it does have a probability. So in the backing data, you might have the chances of getting the wrong information because the database is updated wrongly because of some reasons. So to tackle that kind of issues, you do have to do pre-processing. And the kind of problems you might face is null value is one of the issue you face often or you see often. Then there might be probability that your data types are not correct. What I mean to say by that is that now you have called age column, and we know age column should take a number. So you have 48, 22, 23, and suddenly you have something called ABC when you are extracting the data. Okay, in a MySQL or RDMS database, this will not happen until unless your age column is not a number type, but it's a string type. I'm considering it's a string type while creating the database, it was considered as a string type, and then it allows this kind of a data. And this might happen that this particular information got updated wrongly by mistake. So your data type in the output, when you extract the data, your column data type will be a string data type, which ideally should not be. Plus, it does contain the wrong information. Second example, now you're working in a refinery. Say you're working in the oil refinery. And in the oil refinery, you have a temperature of your furnace. And suppose it says your temperature should be anywhere between 200 degrees to 330 degrees. Suppose there is a range your furnace should be in, and ideally it should be in that particular temperature. And suddenly in this temperature column, when you extract the data, and somehow you see minus 10 degrees as your temperature. And why it happens? Because this temperature is captured by the IoT device, the sensors, and when the sensors go bad, then it might give you the wrong readings. It might happen. So as per you, minus 10 is not accepted in my furnace because that ideally not the situation. So here also you have the wrong value captured. So you have to take care of this kind of value because if you use this kind of value and when you train your model, you will get very wrong output. So that's why the pre-processing is very important. After you do the pre-processing, you clean your data, you make sure that your data is available, neat and clean, then you do the data understanding. What is this data understanding means? Anyone? Why we do data understanding? Suppose you're making a report, the monthly reports, you have some data with you. So you try to understand the data, right? You understand the statistics or stats, or how much revenue we made this month compared to the last month, etc. Right? If you're preparing the profit or the sales report. So until unless you don't understand it, you can't make any inference, or until unless you don't understand the data, you can't conclude something, or you can't extract the information out of it. So that's why data understanding is very important. So after that data pre-processing, we go ahead with the data understanding. Now we understood the data, that data has certain outliers, etc. You removed it, well and good. Now the data is very neat and clear, where you removed all the outliers, you took care of those things. The next part is the feature engineering. What is feature engineering? Let me give you a small example. Now suppose you have two columns with you, height and a weight. Okay. Now if you see height and a weight individually, it does not make much of a sense together. Yes or no? But if you check the BMI, if you calculate the BMI, and to calculate the BMI, you use the height and a weight, and you get a number. So this number is way more useful than the height and a weight individually. Yes or no? Because it tells how much body fat you have, how healthy you are. Yes or no? So now what I did here, using the height and a weight, I created a new column called BMI. And this is one of the feature engineering technique. And the type and the way we created it, we call it as a derived feature. Why we call it derived feature? Because we derived the BMI by combining these two. So that's what we do in feature engineering. And this is one of the techniques I'm telling you. But there are other techniques also to do the feature engineering, such as one-hot encoding, the label encoding, other things. So those are bit, you can say, not more than a basic, less than an intermediate level of kind of feature engineering. After you have done the feature engineering, means your data is ready to be consumed by an algorithm. So at that time, you do the model building. And after you build a model, you try to evaluate your model. Why evaluation is required? Okay, let us take a small example now. Every one of us studied school and college. So throughout the year, we do study. And at the end of the year, we have to write an exam to get qualified for the next class or for the next year, right? Suppose you are in a 10th class. To get promoted to the 11th class, you have to go through the entire exam, then you have to pass, and then you will get promoted to the next class. Similarly here, the 1 year study you are doing, that is, you can compare it with the training part. So training, with that example, you can say the learning you're doing throughout the year. This thing you can compare with the training in the machine learning, or when you train a model. And after the training, after the learning of any of the subjects, you get into an exam, and that's how you get promoted to next level, right? So here, where you are getting, or where you're sitting in the exam or writing the exam, is nothing but the evaluation part in the model training. Why evaluation is required? It's simple to understand. Whatever we trained on, whatever data we have used, and whatever model we got as an output, whether it is meeting certain criteria or not, or how effectively it is performing. That's why evaluation is required. Now, if you fail an exam, what exactly happens? Then you have to repeat the same year again. You have to learn the same thing again. Again, you get evaluated. Similarly, in machine learning, you train an algorithm which creates a model. Then you evaluate a model. If this model is not meeting certain criteria that we will see later, okay, when we get into the course, if it is not evaluated as per our criteria, then again you do the training, which again generates the model. Again you evaluate it, and this goes until unless it does not meet our criteria. Suppose my criteria is the model which we get should be 95% accurate. That is my requirement. If that's my case, and I'm getting 80% accuracy, then this is not satisfying my requirement. So I have to go and train it again. And while retraining it, we do collect extra data, or we do certain more feature engineering, etc. We do a couple of things to retrain. Sometimes we do the hyperparameter tuning. So that we do it, and when we get the satisfactory a model which gives us the required accuracy, then we deploy it. But the question is, why to deploy? Because the model you are creating, that is only accessible to you. So end users who wanted you to create this model was not able to access it until unless you don't deploy it. Very good, you deployed it. After the deploying, when you get the output, something say you predicted yes, no, or if you're predicting the price of a house, then you will get a value. That's fine. So this is the output you will get it. But end user might be non-technical person. He does not know what is data science. He does not know what is machine learning. Then how will he understand what exactly it means? So for that thing, you have to communicate the results. And how do you communicate the results? By creating a user interface, or by creating the dashboards. If you are generating generating a report, or if you are predicting something based on the input, then you have to create a user interface. So he can interact with the model and understands the output. Well and good. We did it. So far we did it. Then why we need monitoring? We need monitoring because whatever the patterns we have today, okay, let us take a couple of let us go a couple of decades back, might be 2 decades back. So at that time we had a CRT televisions. Initially started with black and white CRT television. Then in CRT television you got the color television. So initially people used to buy black and white. As soon as the color TV came into the market, people started buying this color TV. Now from there we move to LEDs. Now it's OLEDs, right? So as soon as the technology evolves, the product changes and the people purchasing pattern changes. And if the advancement of technology is changing a behavior of something, then using the same kind of model to the new data does not make sense. If I'm saying a couple of years back where most of the people does not prefer to go online and buy it, and at that time, suppose I made a model which helps me to predict what kind of product I have to push to the offline customers. But if I'm using that model today, it does not make sense because nowadays people prefer to buy online. So if I make a model which talks about the offline, so when you talk offline, you do consider the location of the store, okay, and the prices, etc. But now when you come to online, it's not the location you're looking forward. It's a price, it's a quality, and a couple of other factors. So using the old model which we created when all offline stores were popular, if you're using the same model now, you might get a prediction, but that prediction is not correct, right? So because of that reason, we monitor our model. And when we find there is a huge drift from the old data and the new data, then again we revisit the problem definition. And when we revisit again, this cycle goes on. And this is nothing but our data science lifecycle. Any questions here? Hello, any questions? Is it clear, the data science lifecycle? Anup, DSR, Cindy, Sanjana, Sanket, Ravi, Suresh, Diksha, Sailu, Harshita, Ullas, and Manchala, Vijay Kumar. Any questions? Great. Now let us move forward. So we understood the data science life cycle. Now let us see how you can integrate or how data science and GenAI can work hand in hand. So previously we seen a slide which says why to integrate a GenAI, and now we will see how to do it, or in which all areas you can integrate a GenAI. The first point is synthetic data generation. The same thing I've covered earlier, where you have a very less data points, but for your training you need a good amount of data points. So it will help us to generate the synthetic data. The second point is automated reporting using GenAI. So if you would like to uh, prepare a report, you pass your data to GenAI and it creates a report for you. You just pass the proper prompt and it gets you the output. The next is enhanced prediction. So we have seen that earlier. So this is why we try to integrate data science and GenAI. And all of these things, whatever the integrated points, integration points you have, whatever integration point you have, all these things leads to one particular output. And what is that? Deliver in less time. And in today's world, where we work in an agile mode, we expected, or company expects us to deliver in less time. And so far in data science, before the GenAI, we used to take our own sweet time. But since the GenAI came into the picture, generative AI, we could use, or we could exploit the generative AI to deliver our deliverables faster. And again, I would like to reiterate, and when you deliver something faster than others, you will be out of the normal crowd, or you will stand out from the normal crowd. And when you stand out from the normal crowd, the people will recognize you because you are going out of the box to deliver your deliverables faster than others. So let us see the benefits. The first is efficiency. The same thing, save time on the manual task. When you save time, you are delivering faster. And suppose you're delivering something in 2 days. And now, after with the help of generative AI, suppose you delivered in 1 day. So you have one extra day in your hand. With this extra day, what can you do? You can do anything. You can spend with your family, or you can upskill yourself. You can spend that 1 day to upskill yourself, or you can spend that 1 day to think for new ideas, or to spend your energy on exploring the new ideas. So that is the next point, the innovation. So if you have some time in your hand, that all of your efforts, energies are not going in the deliveries, but you have some leisure time, then you can use it to upskill yourself, or to use it to think innovatively and come up with some out of the box product. And the next one is the scalability. So this generative AI helps us to work on the large data set easily. And when you could able to handle the large data set, it means you can handle the small data set also. And nowadays, any product we make, we say it should be scalable, because nowadays everyone is going digital. So there are tons of data available on the internet, and we have to process it fast to make our company stand out from the other competitors. So this generative AI helps you to scale faster. So we understood this part, but the question is, I don't know coding. I don't know anything about data science. So with this kind of scenario, what is my learning curve? How much time it takes, or What are the different things I have to learn to at least start my journey? So the first thing is the programming language. You require Python or R. Out of these two, Python is very popular, and most of the data scientists too, as per my experience, I've seen 99% of the people use Python to code their machine learning or a data science models. And with that, you need a bit of statistical knowledge. If you're scared of mathematics, then don't be. We will not go in depth in mathematics. We don't see that how to derive a particular theorem, etc. We don't. We understand the basic concepts of statistics, and we will see how you can implement or use it in the data science or in your day-to-day life. Because in school, college, we did learn statistics, probability, etc., but we never knew how to apply it, right? So we will more focus on that particular part. And the next thing is you need to have some understanding on the visualization. What is visualization? Creating a line chart, creating a scatter plot, etc. So you need to have a skills on that. So we will learn these things. Then what skills you required to acquire the knowledge of generative AI? So basic AI ML knowledge, which we will cover. And then you need to have some familiarity with GPT models, such as GAN, and some hands-on experience on these modules, Python modules. And combining these two categories, high-level categories, you can say now you are equipped with data science with generative AI knowledge. So we have understood how or what we have to learn to get into this thing and start our journey. Now let us see the challenges and the consideration. So before going into challenges and consideration, I would like to quote something from a movie, very popular movie, Great Power Comes with Great Responsibility. And here is the power of generative AI. And it comes with great responsibility. Let us understand. So first, let us understand the challenges, and then we will understand the ethics part where we're talking about the responsibility. The challenges with the generative AI is resource intensive. It takes a lot of hardware to train a LLM model, large language model. I think if you follow this ChatGPT or the DeepSeek, etc., you would have heard that they spent millions of dollars to train the model. So it requires millions of dollars because it's computationally heavy, and the hardware required to compute or create these models are very costly. So people like you and me cannot use our laptop to create a generative AI model. At least from the scratch, we cannot. What we can do, we can use the existing model, we can take it, a model out of it, and you can tune it as per your requirement. And that is not that much computationally heavy or expensive. That's the first point. And second point is the lack of understanding of generative AI techniques. So most of the data scientists or machine learning expert, yeah, they're using the chat GPT, passing a prompt, getting them some information out of it, but they are not fully aware of all the possibilities the generative AI can deliver. So that's a second challenge. And the third challenge is the data privacy and security concerns. And it is very important. Now, suppose you're working in a healthcare industry, where in a healthcare industry, you deal with PII information, which means personal identification information. For Indians, it's Aadhaar card, PAN card kind of a thing. And for US people, it's SSN. Suppose you're dealing with that data and you have very less amount of data with you. You are taking this data and passing it to your GenAI and stating and asking it to generate some synthetic data. So as it entered the, or as you entered the prompt, as soon as it reads the data, now this data is stored somewhere. And plus this generative AI model, be it ChatGPT, DeepSeek, try to train on that data. So knowingly, unknowingly, you are exposing the PII information to third party without the consent of the owner of the data. And if it is so, then the problem is a legal problem. Yes or no? If you share some PII data with some other party without the consent of the owner, it would be a big legal issue. So that's a data privacy concern you have. And next is the security concern. What is the security concern? Now, you would have seen that even the no-voice hackers is asking ChatGPT to generate some malicious code, and then they are launching the attacks. They don't know what exactly it does, but they are asking ChatGPT to generate it. So that's a security concern. Now, the next part is the ethics part. And here, this is the part where we have to be more responsible with the power of generative AI. So one of the example which I say is whatever data the generative AI generates might be biased. Why I'm saying the data might be biased? Because the data which generative AI is used is the data which is generated by people like you and me. Now, one example is suppose you are talking about the e-commerce website. Now that e-commerce website, it's you and me, okay, who are buying from the e-commerce website. And every person has some bias towards certain kind of products. And if I'm using such kind of data to train my model or to train my algorithm to generate the model, it means that even your model is capturing that biases, and the output will or might have the bias. So that's why we say the bias in generated models and its real world implications. The next one is ensuring the quality and the reliability of AI generated synthetic data. So again, the same thing lies where whatever data you feed and ask it to generate, it generates the data on that. And if your data is inclined towards certain kind of a patterns, similar kind of data will be generated. So that's why I personally say you don't 100% or blindly believe the generative AI data, but you have to use your cognitive skills, analytical skills to understand whether the output is correct or not. And the next one is the biggest problem which we could see in the world, that is misuse of generative AI content. I think you have seen many things in the social media where the Trump is, giving a speech which is AI generated, or some celebrity is telling something, promoting some product which is AI generated. And there are a couple of situations I believe you're aware where they use the generative AI to generate some pictures of other people's which is not socially accepted. So some people are misusing it, but it only depends on us on which side of the line we want to be, a responsible side or irresponsible side. So that's why I started this section saying that a great power comes with great responsibility. Now the next part, I think being a freshers or people who are non-technical or technical who would like to upgrade themselves, move to a different or search for new opportunities in this domain, you will be definitely looking for or asking or might ask me a question, the opportunities in the market. So you can see this is a report generated by 365, and this report was generated in the at the end of last year, December around. And it says there is out of total number of jobs available in the market, 47% is related to the data science, followed by the engineering, computer science, statistics, data engineering, etc. So now we can see if there are 100, if there are 100 jobs, approximately 47 jobs are related to data science. Now we want to understand which domains are preferring more of data scientists. The first one is the technology and engineering. Then you have the financial sector, healthcare sector, healthcare and life sciences is your healthcare sector, and then your human resource and employment. So these are the domains where people are intensively using the data science, intensively using the models which we generate for the prediction or to make a decisions. So far it's clear?
Yes.
Great. Now we came to the end of the session where we say, or we would like to conclude that whatever we learned and why it's required to learn, not required, but how it will help you to enhance your career using data science and generative AI. So it opens up the vast possibilities for innovation. Why? Because something you are doing in 1 hour, now you're doing in 10 minutes, you have a 50 minutes in your hand. It's up to you how you use it. You use it for upskill yourself, or you use it to explore the new ideas, etc. If you're exploring the new ideas, yes, it opens the new possibilities of out of the box ideas. If you're using it to upskill yourself, well and good, you'll grow in your career. The next thing is encourage experiments with pre-trained models or APIs. Why I'm saying so? Now suppose you have to write a code of 100 lines. Now you don't have to write it. You simply ask generative AI to process your data or do your work. And when you're doing so, you can try a couple of different combinations and permutations to see how it goes or what kind of output it generates. Previously, you have to write everything by your own. You have to do your own analysis, etc. So you had a less time to do it. Now you have a good amount of time to do it. So you check the different combinations, different permutations, and see how it is performing, and that helps you to provide the solution which is out of the box. And it helps you to prepare for the future with the latest AI trends. So nowadays, I think you joined this session, the main reason would be because the generative AI and the data science are the domains where you get a lot of buzz. The buzz is because it has a lot of potential in future, not in future, in the current also it has a lot of potential, and in the future it would have a more potential. So I spoke a lot, but I never introduced myself. So you have a question, or you might have a question, who is he? Who came to the demo, he's blabbering around, he's talking about generative AI, data science, but what are his credibilities? So currently I'm working as a principal data scientist. I have 16 plus of years of experience. And in the 16 plus of years of experience, 11 years I did hardcore data science. And remaining 5 years includes the data analytics and bit of procurement and supply chain. And I did work with Fortune 100 companies. You would have heard about the UAG, United Health Group. It is very famous in US, right? Where it handles most of the insurances and process, handles the healthcare data, right? So I worked with that. I worked with the startups also. And some of you who have experience, they understand that, or you might understand that both the companies have a different set of expectations from a resource. Fortune 100 companies might not be expecting you to be doing all the work, all the different areas of the work. They would like you to be more concentrated on your specific area of your work. But in a startup where they don't have much resources to hire a different people to tackle different things, but they expect a single person to have multiple talents or multiple knowledge, so they can use it. But why did I bring this point? Because both kind of companies have a different expectations, and I understand both the expectations because I worked in both the places. So with this knowledge, at least if you are willing to upgrade and move to a new position, or move to this data science and generative AI domain, I can at least guide you that in which ways you have to prepare yourself so you can crack an interview. And oh, sorry, but with all these things, I forgot to announce my name. My name is Vishwa Vivek and prefer to be called as Vivek. So now for the people who stay till end, there are a couple of bonuses for you. The first one is the mock interviews. So I understand most of you have zero knowledge on this data science and generative AI. And if you learn this thing, you directly go and sit in an interview. What happens? You get panic because you never faced that interview. So this mock interviews helps you to prepare yourself. And it helps you to benchmark your knowledge. And when you benchmark your knowledge, now you have a reference point to gauge your performance. So that's the main motto of mock interviews. Then you will get a Python basic course free. And then you will have a mentorship calls. Because I have seen that if a person is learning a new tech, if you're learning a new tech, and during the journey, you will have ups, you will have a down, you will have ups and you have downs. So when you have an up phase in learning a new technology, you don't need any mentorship, or you don't need anyone to help you to learn that thing. But in every learning, there's a downfall also. And a downfall happens, and when it happens, when you go deeper into the content, into the technology, the difficulty increases, and then at some stage you feel this might not be my cup of a tea, and I would like not to pursue it further. So this mentorship calls is given to you people so I can help you during this phase, a down phase, where you feel very low, that I'm not able to understand. I would like to drop this particular plan of pursuing my career in this particular domain. So that's the reason this mentorship calls will be given to you people. And during this phase, I will be doing a hand holding and pulling you out from that particular downfall phase. So again, you can start your up phase where you feel happy that you're going and learning something. And it does not limited to only this data science on generative AI. You learn any technology, any domain, you will be having that down phase where you feel very bad that I can't learn it further, it's very difficult, etc. But once you are able to cross that particular phase, then everything is a good picture. So that's the reason the mentorship call. The next one is the helping you crafting the resume and LinkedIn profile. Because my observation says the resume is the, you can say, a marketing deck of your talent. And if your marketing deck is well and you could able to promote yourself well, then people or the HRs will definitely reach you. So we are very much attracted towards a very good ad and it registers in our mind. Same way, if your resume is very well built, then your HRs will get attracted towards it when they see through it, and sometimes you do get registered in their mind, and then you will get a call. And the next thing is the LinkedIn profile. Why I said LinkedIn profile? Initially, I didn't have a very good LinkedIn profile. Later, I refined it further, and nowadays, at least I'm getting one message from the HR offering for a role upfront. So I'm not reaching them; they are reaching me and telling that they have opportunities, whether I would like to explore the opportunity or not. That is only because of the LinkedIn profile. So that's a reason I would like you to offer these things also. So these are the bonuses which I would like to offer you people. And with this, The entire forum is open for Q&A, and let us catch up in the main course where we start learning the Python and other things. So bye all, have a great day ahead. For all the people from the US and the people from India, have a great good night. Bye all.